Okay, so we're going to go over Chapter 3 about the Constitution. We're going to start with Lesson 1 about the structure and principles of the Constitution. So first, the structure of the Constitution. We have the preamble, the articles, and the amendments. And now we're going to talk about the preamble and the articles. The preamble says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." So the preamble just sets out what is the purpose of the Constitution and what is the purpose of the United States government to do these things, to make a safer, more prosperous, better nation. So that's the preamble. Then we get into the articles. The first three articles, Article 1, 2, and 3, are about the branches of government. So Article 1 is the legislature. Article 1 is about the legislature because the Federalists, James Madison and the others, when they wrote the Constitution, they considered the legislature, Congress, to be the most powerful branch. And then Article 2 is about the president, who was second in power. And Article 3 is about the courts, judiciary, which they considered to be the weakest of the three branches. So Article 4 then gets into the relationship of states to each other and the national government. Article 5 says how the Constitution can be amended. Article 6 is about the supremacy clause, that the national government takes precedence over the state government in order for laws. And Article 7 is just about the process for ratifying or making the Constitution official. So now we're going to go into each one of these a little bit more. This clauses. The Commerce Clause is in Article 1. The Commerce Clause, we've talked about this before, allows Congress to regulate interstate trade across state borders, also trade with other nations, and trade with the Native American tribes. So any trade that crosses a border would be regulated by Congress. So they can do tariffs and things like that, taxes on imported goods, but things within the state would not be regulated. Now, this changed a lot in the 20th century, and we'll get to that later when we talk about Supreme Court cases. But originally, Congress had no power to regulate things within state as far as trade goes. Full faith and credit clause is in Article 4. It says that contracts and things in one state are honored in other states. That's why your driver's license is good in other states. If you get married here, you're married in other states. That's all part of the full faith and credit clause. And then the Supremacy Clause, Article 6, says that if a national law and a state law contradict each other, conflict, then the national law takes precedence. So those are the clauses. Some of the principles in the Constitution: republicanism. Republicanism is not like the political party Republican today or Democratic Party today. Republican means that we have a representative government, so people elect representatives who will represent them. So we don't have a monarchy or a dictatorship or anything like that. We also don't have a direct democracy where we actually vote on laws ourselves. Instead, we vote on representatives. Limited government. The Constitution limited the power of the government, so the government could not do anything it wanted, only what was in the Constitution. Federalism, there's two branches, or not, shouldn't say two branches, but two levels of government. You have the national and the state. Each one has their own separate, distinct powers. So power is divided at the national and the state level. Separation of powers within the government. We have the three branches, each with their own powers. They have the ability to check and balance each other, which we'll talk about more. And then, of course, individual rights, especially into the Bill of Rights. So that was part one, lesson one of that.